This is the Mistress Carrie Situation Report for January 27th, 2026. Alpha Wolf have announced the Let It Rip USA tour. Gideon, Mugshot, and Resolve will be opening up for the band. The only New England stop right now is in New Haven, Connecticut on May 19th at Toad's Place. Zoltan Bathory from Five Finger Death Punch is talking about the band's upcoming 20th anniversary tour, saying, quote, "Right now we're in the midst of recording a new album. There's going to be even numbers. America is 250 years old, and this is our 20th anniversary of the band, which is pretty insane if you ask me. It's going to be the 10th record." He continued, "In my life, there's no such thing as I go to Hawaii for 2 weeks and turn off my phone. That just doesn't happen. There's always something going on. We recorded a bunch of pieces, and we have about 25 or 26 ideas that are pretty worked out musically. And then, what's the 13th and 14th songs that are going to make it, at least on this record, and the rest go back into the vault." Tobias Forge from Ghost was asked recently if there are any plans for the band to go in and record a new EP, considering that the band has released a new EP after almost every full-length album since the group's early days. He said, quote, "No, as of right now, there is no EP coming. Besides the North American Skeletor tour that we're doing right now, we have nothing else planned. So the future right now is very open. Creatively, I have a lot to do. I'm actually recording currently, but it's not a covers EP, and it's not a new Ghost record." The Eagles played their first concert without Joe Walsh in 51 years this week, saying, quote, "Joe has come down with a bad case of the flu." Don Henley saying at the Sphere, "So we had a choice to make. We could either cancel the whole thing or we could man up and do the show. So we came down here this afternoon and we had an emergency rehearsal for 2 hours, and fortunately in this band, we have a deep bench." Joe Walsh's parts were largely handled by Deacon Fry and Vince Gill. He became one of the Eagles in 2017 following his father's death the prior year. And Vince Gill sang the lead in the City, Life's Been Good, and Rocky Mountain Way. The Fray have announced the Summer of Light tour featuring special guests Dashboard Confessional, Colony House, the Strumbellas, and Brother Elsie on select dates. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m., with 3 stops in New England, in Boston, Massachusetts at the Leader Bank Pavilion on August 15th, in Guilford, New Hampshire at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion on August 20th, and in Bridgeport, Connecticut at the Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater on August 23rd. After years of troubling behavior, Kanye West has issued a new statement via a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal. Following years of glorifying anti-Semitic behavior, Nazi symbology, and rhetoric in both song and merchandise form. In the statement, he partially blamed his behavior on a frontal lobe injury that he suffered in a 2002 car crash that required his jaw being wired shut to heal. He went on to claim that the brain injury and oversights regarding it led him to become bipolar type 1, a condition he insinuates was misdiagnosed by the, quote, so-called best doctors in the world. You can read the full statement online. David Draymond from Disturbed responding to the statement saying, quote, "Dear Kanye West, thank you for this. Unfortunately, it doesn't undo the damage. I'm not sure anything ever could. Allow me to suggest also, 1, participating in Black Jewish unity events, I'll go with you, and 2, deleting Heil Hitler from your catalog." Edsel Dope, the frontman from Dope, has issued a statement regarding the newly announced group Dope, comprised of Public Enemy's Chuck D and The Doors' John Densmore. It was reported last week that Chuck D and Densmore formed a bond after meeting at a record store day panel more than a decade ago. They decided to team up as Dope using the first 2 letters of The Doors and the initials of Public Enemy. They have plans to release an album on this year's record store day on April 18th. Edsel Dope took to Instagram yesterday in reaction to the news, sharing a screenshot saying that he owns the trademark to Dope, and while at the same time, he suggested a collaboration with his 2 musical heroes. Saying, quote, "It's important for me to highlight that the 25 years I've devoted to building a band and a brand which found a good bit of success and built a sizable fan base around the globe. Those 4 letters, dope, have been tattooed on my knuckles since 1998. I appropriately registered the artist name Dope, and I have owned the trademark ever since it hit the scene more than 25 years ago. In a new interview in Poland, Dave Mustaine addressed the long-rumored idea of a solo album, saying it remains a, quote, possibility as the band moves forward with their latest release and touring plans. Saying, quote, right now things are going so great for us, we're not even really thinking about the end. We're thinking about the beginning of this campaign and heading out on the road and showing this new music to our fans. We've really been looking at tours, and we've got a lot on our schedule, and everything's doing really well ticket-wise. Dates are selling out way in advance, and that's good for us because in many ways, in many places that we booked, we've had to go to a different configuration. Megadeth will open for Iron Maiden at the TD Garden in Boston coming up this September. And that's your sit rep. For more details on all of the stories, check the links in the show notes of this episode. And don't forget to like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie Podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Episode 294, featuring 0936, is available now.